Okay, good morning, guys.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Wonderful. All righty, we're semi one man down, but
Semi?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's here, but he's not here. But it's kind of like he's here, but he's not here.
Gotcha.
But we're here,
I'm here.
and that's all that matters. So, guys, how was your week?
Okay, I'll go.
Oh, look at Juan. He just chimed on in.
Jump on in there, big
at
boy.
that.
My week was pretty good.
Okay.
Just discovered that I killed, or not killed, but disabled Neo, because I have,
You savage. You
No
disabled the man.
yeah,
He is a savage.
yeah, evidently, yeah, I broke something. He's not working right now, so, yeah.
Hope you're happy,
Um,
Juan.
because I was doing some experimenting. I know I was telling y'all last week on pod that I was trying to bypass Meta's servers with my AI glasses. So he was helping me out with that, and I tried to change his model to help him think a little bit better. And evidently, I disconnected his brain. I don't know what I did. I've got to figure that out sometime over the course of this week.
Thanks for
Um,
nothing.
So yeah, that kind of sucks because he does a lot for me right
Does
now.
so much for you, and you just
he
doing
posts
like
the podcast at this point.
that. So you'll have to start doing work
yeah,
now.
I've got to- so yeah, there was that. Yeah, work good. Blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that was my week.
Wow.
Killed my AI. Did work. Happy
Cool.
Saturday.
Wow, that's a short.
Well,
Very short.
alrighty then. Let's see, my week. And my week was pretty good, man. It's yeah. I worked 3 days. Just happy to be working, man. It's been some headaches, or not headaches, just bumps.
Bumps in the road.
Yeah,
Little
bumps in
speed
the road.
bumps.
You know.
But it feels good to be working.
Yeah, so I mean,
Feels
it's
good to
all
hit a bump
good.
every
You know
now
what
and
I'm
then, I
saying?
guess.
It's bouncing back. Got cleared. Got rid of this PIC line. I'm no longer getting antibiotics pumped up in me no more and stuff.
No
So
longer getting picked on.
But don't.
Yeah. Thank you for the drama. I do my best, guys.
not funny.
Ugh,
So anyway,
don't be like that.
yeah, got that. That was pretty much like the highlight of my week, I guess, was just getting that out and being able to just jump in the shower without having to wrap it up and, just
Gotcha.
Little
you
things
know,
we take for granted,
and
huh?
just like to feel the water on that patch of skin that ain't felt no water in 8 weeks,
To get that stanch off of it. Huh?
No, it didn't stink. Shoot, it couldn't stink. Hell, it couldn't breathe. I think you see it. It's like it's layers of deadness.
Oh, it'll be back.
It'll
Back
bounce
to
back.
life. It will. It will.
Yeah.
be
So
back.
other than his hand, feeling good. Everybody's released me except for I go see the hand specialist next week,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows what he's gonna do with that because it ain't right. But anyway,
See, it ain't right. Well, you ain't right, so it matches you then.
yeah.
See?
Yeah. I'm a lefty now, I guess. I don't know.
Are you right with your left hand?
Nothing like it.
I
know.
Like it.
Left is where it's at.
No,
When
but
you're
it's
left
like
hand?
it's starting to get to where like it hurts. Either that or like I gotta like lay my whole arm down to,
Oh,
it's like I'm writing right-handed like a
Mhm.
lefty.
well, there's not a way a left-handed person writes.
Sure it is.
With their
Sure it's
hands.
Sure. They write with their hands, but some lefties, I've seen some lefties that will take the paper and turn it
Turn.
sideways,
I don't
and then
understand
kind of write like that.
that. I understand that.
Well, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah, I've seen left-handed people do it
And
too.
then you
but
got some people that just take their hand and curl it. Like I've seen them, like they
Yeah.
take it and curl
I
it
don't
all the way
understand that
around
either.
and keep it, straight up and down and write like that, which
Yeah.
looks weird. But
Retarded.
I've seen people
I
do
mean,
that as well.
Special. I've seen people do that.
So
I've never paid that much attention to the way that I write to even know how.
I just write like this, pen in hand.
I just know I use my hand and a writing utensil. I've never paid attention to how I lay my paper.
Some left-handed people.
I'm gonna have to pay more attention to that.
Yeah,
I mean, because even as a right-handed person, for me, I always I slant it. I'll slant it. You know, like if especially like if my clipboard, you know. Boom.
No, I just keep everything.
If I've got to sign something like what I'm signing in, you know where to place. Yep, I'll take that clipboard, flip it, and that's how I write. But so anywho, yeah, that's in my week. So how was your week, Kim?
Oh, my week was stupendous. You know, eat, pray, love. That was my week. Just worked, ate, prayed, loved working. Yep. Had to work last night.
Whoa, back that up. You said you love working?
No.
Oh, you just sitting up here lying to us.
I think she was
people.
just trying to get that whole eat, pray, love thing worked in, which I don't think you've ever seen Eat, Pray, Love, have you?
No, I have seen it. It's where she was in she wasn't in America. Yeah, it was. What's her name? Julia Roberts or something. What's her name?
I don't know. I've never seen Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The movie Eat, Pray, Love. Mm-mm. Oh, anyway, I mean it was. Yeah, it was just
I'm usually a big rom-com fan, but I haven't seen that one.
No,
that's like, but
might have to download it.
Oh gosh! But speaking of downloads, you didn't watch.
Your fiber's working.
My who?
Your fiber.
No, what fiber? Oh, download. No, that was not funny. Anyways,
okay.
You watched Raising Kanan last night?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you I watched it already.
What the hell was that? I mean, what's that I just dropped? Oh, and you're not impressed with it because now you know that next week will be the last.
I mean, it's not that I'm not impressed. It's like I said, it's a well written show. I was disappointed because, and to give no spoilers, I didn't realize that this was the series finale. I thought that we were just approaching a season finale. And my whole purpose for initially starting to watch the show was because I'm like, okay, it's going to be cool to see when Tommy and Ghost meet Kanan. That's going to be cool. That was that for me in my head. I had drawn that up to be the build up for that was, like I said, that was the whole reason I watched the show. And now with this only being 2 episodes remaining in the whole series, you know, whether they meet or whether they don't meet, you're only going to get a 2-episode story arc if they do meet in this episode.
Oh, it'll be the last. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you have a 2-episode story arc at best. And I just thought that there were lots of stories that could have been told from young Tommy, young Ghost, young Kane, and young Angela. Ain't that her name? So when they all meet at
Angela, his girl, Tommy's
Shoat
girlfriend,
or whatever the school was that they all met at. I forget the backstory, but that was always my mind when I started watching the show. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And like I said, at best, there's going to be a 2-episode story arc.
1 episode.
Or at worst, you just never see the meeting.
I don't think they're going to show that.
So,
for some odd reason. But you said you didn't. Well, I'm watch that later time. Didn't like the news.
Fightland was not good to me.
The first.
But I'll usually give a new show 2 episodes, and if you say you like it, I'll continue to have it on the server. If not, it's
I have to watch. Okay.
Because I think so the stuff that you've been suggesting, are these shows that you're actually like, okay, this is a good show? Or are you just like, yeah, okay,
well,
this might possibly.
No,
well, I had put that one on.
Right.
Yeah, I had requested that one.
Oh, I thought I requested it last week. Okay. Well, yeah. And most of the other stuff that I had started, I might have watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good so far. Or either I've watched the whole thing, like Smoke. I think I put that on there too. I thought it was pretty good because it was crazy. But, you know, yeah. So most of the stuff is stuff that I found interesting. might not have watched all of it, but a good bulk of it.
Okay.
But with the Fight Club thing, I was like, Fight, whatever name, Fight Room, Fight Night. I was
Fight
like,
Land.
Fight Land. I was like, okay, 50's producing it. So far, he's been batting at 100 for me with his stuff he's been producing. So I was like, it's got to be pretty good. And I seen the previews to it. I was like, yeah. So, but, that's yet to be determined. But yeah, I think that might have been a highlight of my week, watching Raising Cain. I think so. I had pretty much a non-productive week. I mean, other than work. So that's worth. But anywho, because your Neo is down, you don't have news, correct?
I do not, but I do have like a little piece of nerd news that I was watching. Actually, before I got here this morning, and it actually has to do with what we're talking about. Oh. So the Jellyfin development team, like 3 of the senior developers, have left the project. So yeah, it's going to be, when a organization loses, senior experienced leadership, you don't really know how it's going to go, especially considering it's an open source project, which basically means, volunteers are what's contributing. These are all, it's a volunteer effort making this. So when you lose senior leadership like that, it's just, sometimes that's not a very good thing for the project, but,
hopefully it.
But they said that, they expect that it'll continue on. And
yeah, I'm thinking.
But the fortunate thing about using an open source project is if you have functioning software, I mean, it's not like it's going to go away. So that's the good thing about it. So yeah, it's just as a matter of, are there going to be new features that are continuously developed for it? So yeah.
So onward and upward with Jellyfin, hopefully. Because I do like it, because I said I didn't download it, but I put it on my TV, which my brother
all by herself.
He made me feel like a complete idiot, because he's like, Kim, it's pretty much like you downloaded Candy Crush to your phone.
I did something techie.
I did.
She's like, I downloaded an app and put it on my TV. Like that's not techie.
Like.
People, you did the same thing with Candy Crush. Words with Friends. You downloaded an app. There's nothing special about it.
I just can't get the credit that I deserve sometimes. Well, I thought it was something.
Were you impressed when you put Candy Crush on your phone? Were you impressed when you put Words with Friends on your phone? Were you impressed when you put any game on your phone, Kim?
Anyway.
No, seriously.
I'm always impressed when I do something.
Well, then you should be impressed, Kim.
I'm always impressed when I do a little something that I normally don't. I usually ask other people to do. Because most of the time if I ask somebody to do it, it's because I usually can't do it. Or I don't feel capable of doing it. So, yes, I do, Juan, okay?
Yeah, because she ain't lazy, Juan.
Yeah. I try to do my work and stuff. Hey.
Well, way to install an app onto your phone, Boomer.
Well, thanks.
Way to go, slugger.
You people.
And I told you, like, if Daddy installs an app, that's techie. You are of an age where you should be able to install an app, Kim. It's not that impressive.
Oh, my God.
Again, Facebook is on your phone, so I know you installed that. Facebook doesn't come installed on Apple products. So you downloaded it. You're capable of downloading apps. Not techie.
Since you want to be a little specific there, technically, with those, you just go to the app store and you download it and everything just kind of connects. You don't have to put down the domain, all this other stuff. So I'm just saying.
Oh.
Most people don't.
So she's impressed because she can type in a web address. Good job, Kim.
Thank you.
Good job, because,
Thank you.
Never been on the internet or nothing. Again,
Anyways.
If Daddy did that, impressive.
Anyways. So is that all the news you got? Okay, yeah.
Sure.
No, all jokes aside. I don't know. I guess it's just like kind of an ongoing thing with Nolan. Was they had said another autopsy report had came. I guess the first one they did was I guess the one that the state did. Then they did the private autopsy.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick paid for the autopsy.
Oh, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Who cares who paid for it? I mean,
it's just pretty cool that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I always say it. I don't think. Okay, that's great. But the findings from that is still sparking up, I guess, debate with a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna say debate, but just like sparking up conversations with a lot of people because they're trying to say like, why didn't this the original person that did the autopsy, why didn't she say none of the stuff that the current autopsy, the guy who did the most recent autopsy say? And it said because it's like kind of like collusion, like everybody that was in the state of,
See, I would not be of that mindset. I would be of the mindset that, well, there's more detail because this is actually a paid thing as opposed to a government worker. I mean,
but I think they're just trying
you're a government
to say
contractor. You just get the job done. You're like, yeah, okay, he did.
Well, when they say, for the state.
Yep, he's dead. He's not living no more.
They're saying that all the stuff that was done kind of locally was kind of like, it wasn't done thoroughly, I guess that's what.
Well,
no, they're not saying it wasn't done thoroughly.
They're always going to say that when it's that type of case, I think.
But because of the connection that the kid.
But what did it find, though? I mean, did it find anything? Was there any more evidence?
It was some like some type of, I guess you could say it'd be trauma, like at the neck. Like there might have been an assault or of some sort at his head. I think it's right there at his neck and shoulder, like up between his neck and his neck and his lower head, I guess you would say, the lower part of his head. And they were saying it looked like there was some type of trauma there. So he might have been hit or assaulted of some sort, I guess you would say. But they were saying that there's something that, and that other autopsy should have shown. I mean, the other, whoever it was that did the autopsy should have found that because it was so.
I think, okay, I would say that was fair, that you should document any kind of, I mean, because that's the purpose
trauma
of the autopsy, so it's to
Yeah.
document any kind of trauma to the body, whether it be a state thing or not. So
That's what I'm just saying. It's like,
so I mean, that's a misstep, but I mean,
major misstep in something like this because it's so under
well,
so much scrutiny.
because it's a high profile
yeah,
case.
exactly. So you would think, we need to dot as many I's and cross every T.
Yeah,
but I mean, even if it's even if there's no profile to it, I mean, and like I said, I have no thoughts that I'm going to get great service when dealing with government, but I would think that they at least, documenting trauma, that's bare minimum. So I would think that would have occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like if you do your job no matter what. I mean, because that's a part, that's the purpose.
But it's
of
not
an
like they
autopsy.
found like a smoking gun, or anything.
No.
From the secondary autopsy.
But it is because first they say
I mean,
natural causes,
it shows the end,
and then they're saying now there was some trauma. So natural causes is one thing, trauma is something totally. I mean, there was, natural causes is what it says. It's not unless something he fell or but.
I mean, it's not that it didn't say natural causes. He drowned.
Well, that's the natural. Well, that's what
drowning ain't natural.
Well, it is. I mean, when I say drowning is natural, like it ain't like nobody held you down.
Well, that's what's going to be next. I mean, because depending on what kind of trauma was on the back of the neck, I mean,
exactly.
What I'm saying?
That's what they're saying. Looked like it. So it was a
like he was being held or maybe even punched.
Thank you.
While being held underwater like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in that case, it could have been some horseplay that went too far.
Yep, but that's the latest thing of that.
Or, like, it could have been nothing. It could have been he fell in the water. Yeah.
But they're saying he was a great swimmer. I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. It ain't like it was somebody like me who can't swim. They said he was a great swimmer. I mean, someone like me drowning, but because I can't swim, it said he could swim.
I mean, but even a great swimmer ain't, depending on how far you're used to swimming, you might not be a great swimmer, or if there's, substances involved. I mean, there's all sorts of things that will diminish a person's capacity.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm a great swimmer and been partying all day, and not saying drink, but just like been active, like hanging out with friends and,
I said not drinking.
Playing on the beach, I might be a little tired and I ain't going to be as great of a swimmer as I would be, early morning.
Touche. And that is the truth, Ruth. Let us see. That's pretty much it with that. Now, you got any news? Anything that sparks your fancy that you can think about?
You know me. I just be looking for gun news. Basically.
No gun news, sir?
I watched the thing the other day about Connecticut, because I think they've been having some stuff about their gun policies or whatever, and wanting to ban anyone, I think, under 21. So anyway, it was just it was another Coley on the War thing, but it was an interesting little thing how it went back and showed certain cases and the actual parts of the Constitution that were like equally designed. So like, while some kids, it was like you wouldn't expect for them to, hold a rifle or, own, other than, hunting, then there were some kids that they actually expected to, because they were part of the militia, but the militia wasn't like, when they said well regulated back then, it meant something totally different than what we have kind of come to say that it stands for. But anyway, they won their fight, but I forgot what the technicality was on it, where the judge, and I can't remember, what was it? I think it was the state Supreme Court judge, gave it to him, but basically said that, there was no basis for it because there were clear divisions, provisions for each case. So, not very informative, but I thought it was cool. And my thing is, I'm not for necessarily, 18, 19-year-olds, concealed carrying, but it is so easy to make laws. If you are in the military and you're that age, you should be able to carry concealed. You can do it because you're in the military, and this is where I think it should be. I think you should be able to do it because you're in the military, and you should definitely have to, do a course.
If you're in the military and you're 18, you should be able to carry concealed.
You should be able to, yeah. Otherwise, if you...
See, I don't think that a military person should have to do any additional training as long as they can show that they've successfully passed firearms training. Which obviously, if you're in the military, you've had some sort of firearms training.
Well, that's for safety.
Yeah.
But, the other component of it, as far as like knowing about the Castle Doctrine and stuff like that, they don't teach you that in the military.
I'd agree, but I would also contend they didn't teach me that in the concealed carry class that I took. I mean, it's mentioned.
I mean, well, they at least made you aware of it.
The laws are mentioned.
They brush off with a little
but you
bit.
at least were made aware of it.
They skim over it.
Yeah,
they skim over it.
But definitely, if you're in the military, I mean, because if you're going to do it it's like, how is it okay to put the gun into that same teenager's hands? You know what I'm saying? If you okay with them joining the military and you going to do it, if they're not in the military, then yeah, they definitely need some class.
See, I personally think concealed carry is stupid. I think whether you can see my gun or whether you can't, if I have a gun, it's me taking that extra class shouldn't be like, oh, you've taken an 8-hour class. You can now put your shirt over your gun. That is the dumbest rule ever.
Well, it's just the way that a state keeps money going to.
Right. I mean, it's a money grab, but I'm just saying because we're talking about, how we feel the concealed carry laws work. I think the whole purpose is stupid. I mean, if I can go out and purchase a handgun, I should be able to carry it however I so and see fit.
Yeah, but don't just in order to carry a gun, you have to have a gun permit. I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
So what?
I said just in order to carry. I mean, legally carry a gun, you have to have a gun permit.
No.
I mean, to buy a gun.
To
I mean,
purchase,
to say
you have
to
to.
purchase
Yeah,
a
you
gun.
have.
But
No.
you don't. You can just go buy a gun,
Mhm.
a regular handgun.
Well, no, you still need. They just do the permit work at the on site now. That's not what they're doing when you're filling out that paperwork. It's not the same as the gun permit paperwork.
Mm-mm.
What is
That's the 74 something. All that is your background check.
Ain't that what they're doing with the gun permit?
Yeah, that's why they did away with it, because it was all right. So one was like a local, and the other one was federal. So what is local going to pick up that's not on federal's radar? So they come to say that it was redundant. So that's why North Carolina did away with the purchase permit at all. So you don't need
I
any
just
kind
thought
of
they
purchase
just
permit.
moved it to on site.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Because that was stupid anyway.
Yeah.
So I can just go buy a gun. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have to go through all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to be able to pass the background check. That's all you got to do now.
I can.
And then you can you can carry it. You should, as the law stands, if you're going to be a law-abiding citizen, you have to open carry.
Yeah, I don't mind.
But the laws are too late.
She's taking her concealed.
I know.
Haven't
Yeah.
you taken your?
I did.
Yeah, I know. But she was saying that,
But mine's expired.
you had to
now.
have a permit. You let it expire.
Well, because when I moved counties, you got to go and do all that.
And you
so
didn't.
I did.
No.
Yeah, no. But I got a certificate. I got another, so I can go and reapply. But when I moved, I don't know what I did with it. I put it in a book somewhere. Anyway, oh well, I'll find it. So I have it. But anywho, let us begin with our weekly. Oh no!
I just had a thought.
He just had a thought.
You know why Chris didn't make it? You know why Chris is not here today? It's not because he's doing something. What was the thing that he said he was going to do last week at the end of the pod?
He said he was going to play sick.
No, he said, I'm going to post some stuff. I'm going to post.
Yeah.
Has Chris posted anything?
Chris ain't posted.
Chris ain't posted. Jack Bone.
Jack Rabbit. Well, we have a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm going to post. I'm going to post this
posters.
week. I'm going to post this week.
You knew that wouldn't happen. I mean, I knew that wouldn't happen.
But yes, that's why he's not here this week. He didn't want to get called out. But Chris, you are being called out on top.
Yes, you are definitely
Jive
being called
turkey.
out. You are definitely a jive turkey as well. I'm trying to find where we started. Okay, right here. Okie dokie. Okay. Yes, we're ready to start for the week. I'm just making sure I don't go back too far. Yesterday, Thursday, Monday. Alrighty, let's see what Juan posted Monday.
Mom was on fire on Monday.
Monday. He was on fire.
You deal with a spouse who lacks ambition and is content with living a sedentary lifestyle.
Can I jump on that first? Yeah. Okay, so inside of the language reveals something. Yeah. Which is deal, right? There's a superiority even inside of the question. Which
that's why I preface it.
Yes. Right? And so, and that's not, I'm not just trying to shame you for asking it that way, but it's oftentimes our language reveals our consciousness and our paradigm. And so this is why you come to get coached and supported by people who maybe have a wider range and understanding or more life experience. And so here's some of that life experience. We were speaking at an all men's event.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the guys stood up and he was like, how do I get my wife to get into this work? You know, it feels like I'm doing all the work here and she's just not into it and X, Y, and Z, and it's really on her. And I said, man, I hear you. I genuinely do. And I think you have a leadership problem. He was like, kind of like taken aback. I said, let me break it down a little bit. So there's one thing to say, I think you should be doing or reading this book. There's another to finesse and lead your wife, to invoke and inspire and meet her in such a way that you speak to her listening, where she desires to do it either with you or she finds her own way, but that it actually speaks to her listening. Well, you can't do that if you're judging her. You can't do that if you're in a one-up position. So sedentary, and what was the other word?
Lacks ambition, I think.
Yeah, sedentary and lacks ambition. The way I heard that was I am above. Because I have ambition, because I'm not sedentary, I am therefore better, and you are therefore worse. So, number one way to clean some of this up is to take yourself off the pedestal and say, there is a season for everything in life. My partner may be in a season where they don't necessarily have the drive to go make $1 billion and do X, Y, and Z. They are content with watching Love is Blind and Netflix and chilling and just enjoying the now. Let me, as their partner, see the gift in this before I invite them to where I am.
Yeah, and I just want to speak to this too, because I've done this. I've done the one-up thing where it's like, oh, you're not like me.
Can you do me a huge favor? If this clip resonated with you, please check out the full episode.
Okay, that was... So, why don't you just chime right in with that?
It didn't resonate with me.
Well, moving on. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. It sounds, I guess, reasonable.
It just depends on how you choose to look at things.
Yeah. Because, the average person will do that. Like, I ain't going to say do that, but I can relate to somebody saying, well, we use something simple like maybe going to the gym. If your partner don't like going to the gym, or say you're into fitness, your partner may not be in fitness. Or you'd be like, well, don't you want to go? You should go. You need to go. I've been going for the past month, like one up and kind of deal. And I'm like, no, I'm just not feeling it or whatever. But like I said, I guess if you just meet them where they're at and you just try to make it or invoke their, be like, well, yeah, well, maybe you could go, or maybe you could work out together, could be workout partners, or I guess it's just how the presentation of how you bring it to your partner, I guess.
Or you could just let them not go to the gym and you go be great.
Yeah. Or, when he said, like, your partner may not be into making $1 million, but I bet your partner's into spending $1 million. They want you want the benefits of something, but don't, I guess sometimes not going through the process.
I think it's just don't expect your partner to be you.
Yeah.
Just because it floats your boat don't mean it floats your partner's boat. Just because you want to clean up, all day, don't expect I'm gonna be cleaning up all day. I'm comfortable with this level of cleanliness right here. Because if I wasn't, I would clean.
Or not.
Well, no, if I wasn't, I would clean. The fact that I'm not cleaning means that I'm comfortable with this level of cleanliness. It's clean enough.
With these gnats flying around, you don't mind like flying this off of them.
Okay.
What's that little man off Charlie?
Pigpen.
Pigpen. That's it's okay. Just call me Pigpen.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, sorry. Now, is that what's your input? Was that your?
That was my. Let me be me. Let me be great on my own, and I will let you be whatever you choose to be.
I guess this was kind of like the opposites attract kind of thing too. I guess I don't know. You don't want, like you said, you don't want your partner to be you. You want them to be themselves. So. Moving on to the next. Of course, another one Juan did here.
Or bipolar. Cannabis psychosis turns into schizophrenia or bipolar almost half the time. I said that in one of my groups today, and it got quiet. In 1994, Denmark started writing down names. Anybody who came into the hospital with drug-induced psychosis went on the list. 6,788 people. And nobody got treated differently. They just watched them for 20 years. Year 2, some came back with schizophrenia. Year 5, more. Year 9, Year 15, yep, more. They just kept coming back. Alcohol brought back 22%. Cannabis brought back 47%. But you got to pay attention to the slowness, because the trickle effect, if it had been schizophrenia hiding behind like a bad diagnosis, then they would have all showed back up at the same time. But they showed up over years, as if something was like still finishing. THC takes the brakes off your dopamine. It floods the striatum, the part that decides what matters. Your brain runs a highlighter over the world. THC hands that highlighter to a stranger. Now the car behind you means something. The text means something. So your brain starts to write a story on why everything went loaded. Oh, but that story is a delusion. So let's just say you got two guys. You got the same blunt. One of those guys is fine. But guess what? One of those guys is on that list. Daily use, 3 times the odds. Daily high potency, 5 times the odds. One variant of a gene called AKT1 plus daily smoking. And you've got 7 times the odds of the guy who passed the blunt to you. And your uncle's weed from 1995 is like 4% THC. Today, 17. Concentrates run over 50. And the CBD used to buffer that is gone. None of y'all's uncles smoke that. Some people who smoke won't get psychosis, but some will. And the risk stacks. Male, 16 to 25. Daily. High potency. Family history. 20 years in and you're fine. That's information too. It might mean you're not carrying the stack. And that's pretty much why the room got quiet, because they didn't know this. Some of them knew that weed was risky, but some did not. Some of them didn't know that they were on a list that nobody handed them. Cannabis psychosis turned.
I found that
Interesting.
very interesting. But, I don't. That was a study in 1920 or whatever year he said it was. But I was just like, wow, this interesting, the amount of THC that was in weed back then compared to now. So it's like, oof.
Well, I think everybody knows there's more THC in weed now.
I mean,
than there
yeah,
was back
but I'm
then.
just saying, like, to think like back in the day, like when they were like, yeah, rolling a little old joint and they get, but like now everything is just magnified times 10 or whatever's magnified times.
Yeah, for me, I think that's the scary part, though, is just like I said, because, I'm not a weed opponent, but, I don't like actively smoke, but I don't have a problem with it. But I mean, I think I've always joked and said, if I ever were to get into distributing and selling marijuana, it would be the old school stuff, the reefer. Because that's, I mean, I think that in our quest to chase more potent high, I think that's the side effects and the things that may happen are just scary as heck.
It's scary, but I guess for me, I just, the bad, and I always say, I'm not against it or, really for it. I mean, do your thing, but I think everything, as we all know, in time, it does have a effect, and it's just a scary part of it. It's just kind of like drinking. I mean, we know if you drink a lot, you're gonna get cirrhosis. I mean, really. So for me, I think everything is just scary for me to being that I worked in healthcare, and I'm just like, I just don't want nothing major to happen. Like, I don't want to have schizophrenia or what, I just don't, because I knew when they started. I'm saying when I did smoke, I think I smoked probably more than I just smoked. How about that? But to smoke now, I just couldn't imagine, functioning. And, I just couldn't imagine. And I know people say, well, they have the different strands and stuff like that, but I'm like, yeah, but what's in it though? I guess for me, it's just scary.
I think that's it's like the nature of human. I mean, we try to do everything. I mean, like even with our foods, okay, in our quest to make, bigger, cheaper chickens, we're doing things that may put our health in danger in the long run. I think that's just what our nature is.
It's definitely what we do.
Yeah.
Totally.
Claire, thought, concerns, comment?
Cares, concerns, questions.
Nah, I mean,
Nah,
I mean, it's
No comment.
well, no, I mean because it's well, like he said. I put more of the emphasis on that one gene. He admitted that you know what I'm saying. You never know if you have that gene, but it's like cancer. I mean, there's a gene. I mean, you have some people that smoke for years and years and years, and had a clean bill of health, and died from something totally unrelated. And then you've got some people that rode in a car with somebody that was smoking Winston's all the time with the windows rolled up, never actually smoked one themselves.
Talk about us.
And
Well, no, because
and
the
have
next comment is
cancer.
going to be and have
Oh,
cancer.
no,
Yeah, you ain't talking about me.
No.
So I feel like there's some type of predisposition to all of that, and even though they know it's there, it's like they don't make it available enough to say, hey, you should probably try this to cut down your chances of, whatever could happen with people who have this particular gene. So anyway, yeah, there you go. My 2 cents. Rolling right on.
And we rolling. All right.
Rolling.
I gotta be with a boring woman because I got trauma from my mother. See, my mother was the life of the party type. When I came home from school on a Friday night and it get around 8 or 9 o'clock, I could smell her perfume filling up the house. She had her old music playing loud and I could smell the burnt hair from the curling iron. And I already knew what that meant. My mama was getting ready to go out. And when she left on Friday, sometimes she didn't come back until Sunday night or Monday morning. There were even times where she disappeared for weeks. So as a child, I learned that everything outside of the house was more important than the children inside of it. The parties, the drinking, her friends, the men. I never developed a real emotional connection with my mother because from my experience, I was always competing with the outside world, and the outside world kept winning. Years later, when I was married, my wife started having a clubbing phase. That didn't make her a bad person, but it triggered something in me. I'd be at home with the children while she was going out. Suddenly, I wasn't a grown man no more. I was that little boy again, watching somebody choose what was outside over the family waiting inside. That's when I realized that abandonment don't always feel like somebody physically leaving you forever. Sometimes it feels like constantly watching someone prioritize everything except you. So yeah, I need a boring woman. Give me that kind, sweet, nice woman that can kick her feet up and watch Netflix. She can cook at home or we can go out for dinner, catch a movie, travel, enjoy life. But she don't need alcohol, clubs, or constant outside attention just to feel alive. I done the work on myself. The healing also taught me to stop choosing relationships that repeatedly activate my deepest wounds. Sometimes what the world call boring, your nervous system calls safe. After surviving chaos, peace becomes the most attractive thing in the world.
I know for me, I follow him and listen to a lot of his stuff. I'm just like, he's just.
I didn't post that.
No, I said I know.
Oh, because you was like, we gonna see some of the stuff that Juan posted.
Well,
I thought you was giving disclaimers on who posted everything, and I'm like,
no,
that
you
wasn't
posted
me.
most of it. I believe I posted maybe 2 or 3, but you posted most of it.
Larry posted stuff too.
No, did I?
You posted 1.
Did I? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you posted maybe 1 or 2, but for the,
This week? Wow.
Yeah, I'm going back. You did,
But I mean, we don't have to do an audit on who posted what.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just.
So yeah, what were your thoughts on that, kid?
I mean, I just thought that was funny with him talking about, I'm not funny, but just interesting about having a born girl because of, what he dealt with his growing up, basically with his mom or whatever. But like I said, I listen to him a lot, so a lot of his stuff is like he has a lot of family like trauma. So I just be like, I guess, some people might need that. I guess for him, he does need a woman that's boring, that don't want to go out and do this, that, and the third because of the way he was raised. So,
But I think stuff like that is kind of deceptive. I mean, because depending on your age, I don't know how old he is, but if you're young enough, and you meet someone, they may be boring at this moment, but as they grow, they may be like, you know what, I feel that I'm missing something. So I want to go out a little bit and hang out, do things that. So I mean, I think it's just a matter of just staying in communication. I think certain things are, you know, as they arise, you just should be able to communicate and talk about it freely. Because just because she's boring today, I mean, I ain't gonna say she's gonna be a club person, but I mean, she might be a person that's like, you know what, babe, I would like to go out to a lounge every now and then. I would. Can we get out of the house? I don't want to just cook for you and have Netflix all the time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just like I said, depending on the age. I mean, at our age, it's not as likely, but I mean, you're a younger person. I mean, people change over the course of years, so it's just a matter of accepting that person and being like, all right, cool, we can change. You know, just be okay if I don't.
Well, some people do, and then again, some people just grow apart as well. So. Some people don't grow together. Some people grow apart. Not saying that the clubbing thing will be up, but some people evolve in different directions. Yeah.
Well, I think you can definitely tell that he's done the work. I like the part it stuck with me when he was like, how he recognized that he was getting into relationships that were, full of his triggers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That triggered trauma, or whatever. So. I like, this, as long as I mean, and maybe that is what he wants, and if someone, and maybe he'll find someone that's had the same trauma or the opposite trauma, it's like, I don't really want to go out or whatever. I mean, but he did say that, he liked to travel. So, I mean, maybe they do a lot of traveling or they do more traveling than, instead of just going out. So when they do go out, they're out of the country or out of the state or, I mean,
Oh, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with him on knowing what you want. I mean, don't go out and go into a relationship if you know right now I'm not wanting a clubby woman. Don't go out to the club and be like, yeah, she hot.
Well, and that was
that's absurd.
And that's another thing that I think he kind of glossed over was the fact that he said that his first wife went through a clubbing phase. Yeah. If you can recognize that it's a phase, then you should recognize that it's not going to be like that all the time. And that is not a, true representation of what the future has to hold. Yeah, you was, and maybe that's when he did the work that he needed to do to recognize that, that just wasn't something that he was willing to have in his life. And that's cool too.
Yeah.
So.
Very much.
Kids will know exactly why I chose to be distant from my family. And before somebody say, don't poison your kids against your family, let me stop you right there. There's a difference between teaching hate and teaching discernment. When children get old enough to understand, I'm not going to lie to protect grown people's reputation. I'm going to tell them the truth in an age-appropriate way. And not because I want them to hate nobody, but because I love them enough to prepare them. See, we teach our kids not to get in cars with strangers. We teach them not to accept candy from strangers. We teach them to watch out for predators that they'll never meet. But somehow, people think it's wrong to teach your children how to recognize manipulation from people that they already know. Now, I'm going to teach my children what guilt tripping look like. I'm going to teach them that blood don't cancel out abuse. I'm going to teach them that somebody crying don't automatically make them the victim. I'm going to teach them that an apology without change behavior is just another manipulation tactic. I'm going to teach them that they don't owe anybody unlimited access just because they share DNA. I'm going to teach them that respect your elders never meant accept disrespect from your elders. I'm going to teach them how to say no without explaining themselves, how to leave a room without feeling guilty, how to set boundaries without feeling like the bad person, how to recognize who only call when they need something, how to spot people who create chaos, then blame the person who finally speaks up. Because some of the most dangerous people that you'll ever meet ain't going to arrive wearing no ski mask. Sometimes they'll arrive carrying the same last name. And before y'all twist my words, hear me clearly. I'm not trying to make my children hate nobody. I'm trying to make sure they never confuse love with obligation, because I wasn't protected by the adults who should have protected me. My children will be. That's how cycles end. Not by pretending nothing happened, but making sure it never happened again.
That's a real dude.
Yeah, he's something. He be posting a lot of good stuff. Well, some of it's interesting, but He does. I think a lot of people will feel they have to, I guess, deal with people just because they might be family, even no matter how traumatic they may, shall I say, dramatic or traumatic they might be. But I guess he just feels that it's necessary to tell his kids not to, make nobody look small or look like a bad person. But, if someone is causing, if they're in your family, I guess, if they're in your family and they're just, I can't say bad people, just people,
Different.
the type of people that damage people, always the villain. I mean, always the victim. I said villain. Always the victim, and, and I always want you to kind of be like, well, we family anyway, so da-da-da. So some people, I guess, might feel that they,
Kim, stop scrolling on your phone. Just go to the next one. You're being distracted and you're not forming full sentences.
I'm not. I'm still where he's. I'm still on him.
But I'm watching you swipe, and you're fumbling over your words. You're like, and
I'm just trying to see how many more we have actually.
So what are your thoughts, Larry?
That. Yeah.
I think his presentation makes things sound a lot worse than what it is. He did say that he would do it in an age-appropriate way at an appropriate age. And I don't see that there's anything wrong with the substance of what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what parents should do. They should teach their kids how to, and I didn't do a great job of that, of, being respectful, but also setting boundaries and letting people know how you wish to be respected. I don't see anything wrong with that. And as far as manipulation and how family will do that, well, yeah, there are people like that in the family. And I don't see nothing wrong with, allowing them, because it helps them, as they see that, as their world gets bigger and they see other people with the same tendencies and traits of Aunt Sally and Uncle Buck and Miss Lucy down the street, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, now I can sit back and I can read the room because I know these traits and characteristics and how these people move.
Definitely.
And kids these days, they ain't quick enough to figure it out like we did, unfortunately.
I mean, as a person who reads a room horribly,
terribly.
For me, I kind of agree, kind of on your lines. I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying, as far as I think you should teach your kids how to recognize manipulative practices and things of that nature. It didn't sound great because for me, it sounded kind of more like, as it relates to family, Aunt Paula manipulates types of things. These are the things that she does. And I don't think that type of teaching is right. I think, yes, you should teach them how to recognize bad practices, how to set boundaries in general. But within familial relationships, you should allow them to form their own relationship and not try to contaminate them because you've had a bad experience with Aunt Paula or Aunt Becky or Daddy or Mama, because it's not fair to them, because just because my relationship with XYZ wasn't great doesn't mean that that person is going to treat my child the same way. So that kind of, depending on how he delivers it, I think that could or could not be a good thing.
Yeah.
And the way it sounded, it sounded like there's some heat coming with that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely some heat. But I think sometimes it's also hard for a parent or whatever to talk to a kid if they don't know. But you got a lot of parents that don't know, that don't know how to read a room. So how can a parent teach a kid how to read a room if they don't know how to read a room? I mean, too, so.
Long where y'all know I had to spin back on this one.
Nah, skip that.
Save it for last.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
So The we're gonna have to start getting away from some of the ones that have music in the background because at the point where we become monetized, we won't be able to collect revenues on those because they're copyright strike. We get copyright strikes every time we upload anything that has music in the background.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Even if we do a thing that says we don't own, because
Yes.
I know. Oh gosh,
YouTube automatically copyright strikes you. Like I said, we're not monetized right now, so it doesn't factor in anything. But it's just for best practices. It's something we need to start doing.
So no music at all.
No.
Okay.
Alrighty, on with the next.
I meant to say that before pod. But it's really like the real music by real artists.
Yeah.
Like the instrumental stuff, I haven't noticed a copyright strike, but like all the ones that we've done that have been like the throwback artist or the best hook and things of that nature. Every one of those has been like, it's not going to affect you now, but we're going to block it in this region. It's going to get a copyright strike when you're monetized. So yeah.
Okay.
So yes, for anybody that's been liking when we do those, we're not going to do that.
Well, dag nabbit.
They go bye-byes.
Okay. On with the next.
Or you can go, if we do continue to do them, it'll just be stuff that I'm not going to do any editing on it. We'll just take the copyright strike on YouTube and they'll block it and they would have to go directly to the website to get it. Something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I just wanted to let you, I meant to say something before pod.
Well, thank you for letting us know on pod.
Purpose. It doesn't. I think one of the biggest lies that people told me was that pain produces purpose. It doesn't. Because what happens when healing shows up? I didn't know what to do. So here's what happened. I was in a weird space where I made promises to myself when I was in survival mode that I tried to keep once God got me. So it was
Wait, hold up a second.
I made...
When the DJ got to say, run that back. Rewind.
Yeah. So I made promises to myself in survival mode, and I tried to keep those promises once God had me. So it was conflict there. Because the first thing God would tell you to do is tear down your reputation. But what if my reputation is all I knew? Right? So now you have nothing. And then here's where my depression actually came into play. I tore down my reputation, then I was stepping into who God called me to be, but I wasn't sure what I was stepping into. So now I'm looking and I'm going, all right, God, well then who am I? Because here's what happens. When you tear down your reputation, you tear down your people, places, and things. Now I can't go back home. There's no comfort zone. I have nowhere else to go. Simultaneously, everybody in my world is telling me, hey, you still going to provide and protect? Provide and protect what? From who? I lost myself in that season. So I was in a space where I had to really rely on God and I had to step into healing. And one thing that I had learned about healing that has to be said is that healing is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a continuous process. And there's wounds and scars that has to happen within this process. But a lot of the times when we don't operate in vulnerability, we talk about our scars and our scars only. So then your language starts sounding like, I used to go through this I back in the day. No, what are you currently going through right now where your wounds is currently open? And then who do you have around you that can look into your wounds and say, okay, I know exactly what to do. I'm not the doctor, but I can get you to the ultimate doctor. I can drop you to the feet of Jesus, and then I pray for you as time goes on. I say this all the time. Last thing I say, when it comes to community, I deal with things literal, like in definition. So it's common unity. We build community with people we ain't got nothing in common with. And we build community where there's no unification, which is why you don't trust people with your actual testimony and your transparency. Because the moment that you turn around, they're going to gossip about you. Yeah, at that point, you're not spreading the gospel, you're spreading gossip, and you're putting people around you that's doing the same thing. Yet that information at that point don't become valuable to nobody. I'll stop there.
He was cooking. That man was cooking. Shoot, that's a way.
I think one of the biggest lies that...
What's y'all's take on that there?
It was too long. It sounded like a sermon, and it lost me.
Okay. Juan, were you lost in the sauce as well?
I mean, I think that all of his supporting statements disproved his initial statement. Because his initial statement, his thesis was that, what was it? Pain doesn't create
purpose.
Mm-hmm. But then he proceeded to talk about how healing from wounds is what I got. Healing from wounds is the journey that creates your purpose. If you never are in pain / wounded, there's nothing to heal from. Therefore, there is no purpose without the pain. So everything you just said discounted your thesis. So you have to have the pain in order to heal from it. The healing is what does create the growth. If you never experience pain, there's nothing to grow from.
I guess maybe other feelings, but I guess.
But I also agree that it was long, and I kind of got lost. So I just zeroed in on thesis, and then I heard some supporting statements, and I'm like, this is he's honestly speaking against his initial thesis. I don't get it.
But the only thing it says something like it's better to let go of your ego to the ones you love. It's better to. Oh no, I'm sorry.
And I don't know what that has to do with anything.
It's better to lose your ego to the ones you love. That's what the title or topic or whatever thing up under the thing says.
That didn't have anything to do with anything I heard.
Well, he was saying losing yourself. I guess the ego aspect.
Okay.
Doesn't translate without the visual.
Skip over that one because that's music.
I don't care about you. I just stopped sacrificing myself to prove it. I stopped losing sleep so that you could rest easy. I stopped abandoning my own needs so yours could be met. I stopped pouring from an empty cup just so you never feel thirsty. And somewhere in that transition, you confused that shift with me not caring. No, I still care. I just realized that caring for you was costing me myself, and that's the price I can't afford anymore. I used to think that love meant giving until there was nothing left, that if I wasn't exhausted, I wasn't doing enough, that if I still had enough energy for myself, I was being selfish. And so I kept giving until one day I looked in the mirror and I didn't even recognize the man I was staring at. That's when I stopped. The dangerous thing about self-sacrifice is that it feels noble while it's happening. It feels like that's what a real man does. But there's a version of sacrifice that isn't love at all. It's the belief that you're not enough without it. That if you stop giving everything, the person will finally see who you are and leave. So you give more. And the more you give, the less you have left. Until you've lost yourself trying to prove you were worth keeping. I chose me. And I know that may look like abandonment to someone who was used to being chosen at my expense, but it's the first honest thing I've done in years. I didn't stop caring. I stopped dying to prove it. There's a difference. And the fact that you can't tell, that's exactly why I had to leave. I still care about you. I just stopped sacrificing.
What's you guys' views on that one? Love that requires.
Well, y'all know who posted that one, so but
yes, I posted it.
No, I posted that one.
Oh, really? I thought I did. That sounds just like something.
Yeah, it does
sound
sound
just like something
I had
I
to
would
go
post.
back and look when you said. I'm like, did she? I did. No,
Oh, okay.
I did it.
Oh, okay. I like that one though.
Yeah.
I do.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like no, I mean because it's like, it's if you're used to taking care of a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It does. I see how it can be, misconstrued or whatever as you changing and you acting funny. But no, it's like there's nothing wrong. I mean, if that's who you are and you got that capacity and you can give like that, then do you. But if I decide that I can't, then, let me do me as well.
Doing you is important.
It is.
Because at the end of the day, you are important. What is your views on that one? Warren?
Well, again, we know.
Was that long too?
No.
Oh, I'm like, you said it. Was that long?
It was, I have issue with it. I don't necessarily disagree with it. But I do take issue that I do think you're supposed to pour, but I also think you're supposed to be poured into. I think in any relationship, there should be mutual pouring.
Yeah.
I don't think pouring is just supposed to be a one-way thing. We should pour into one another.
Problem.
So that way, if I'm pouring out and you're pouring into me, I shouldn't get empty. So it's not a matter of, but yeah, if you're the only one pouring, yeah, that you're pouring yourself out, and that's not a good relationship. But I think in a healthy relationship, there's mutual pouring. We pour into one another, and not, we pour into one another as much as we can. So there's not I'll pour myself out because you should have poured something into me, so I should never get empty.
I think a lot of times that be the issue. People don't see that it's not it's not a healthy relationship. A lot of relationships are one-sided that people don't see it until, a lot of times till time has lapsed. I'm like, oh, I was doing all of that, wasn't I? Or, no, it didn't seem like that. No, a lot of times you're too close to the picture to see it. So, but let's see what this one.
Being a good person does not in itself make you a good partner, and that can seem counterintuitive to people, but it's a different thing, and let me explain. A good person is someone who's caring, considerate, trustworthy, and safe. But you could be a partner who embodies all of those qualities, but you're still not a good partner. And that's because being a good person doesn't require a lot of touch points. There's not a lot of intimacy in a person-to-person relationship that's casual. Relationships usually change when responsibilities and expectations starts taking the place of spontaneity and like the novelty of the togetherness. When you first together and wonder if they like me, everything is new. And after a while it comes down, and at some point y'all gonna have a what are we conversation. Hopefully y'all are on the same page. But there's a seriousness that happens, and that seriousness comes with expectations and responsibilities. And that's the difference between saying, oh, you a good guy over there, and hey, you're a good boyfriend. You being a good person does not in itself make you a good partner.
How do you feel about that there, Warren? Larry? Chime on in.
I don't know. To me, it was just it was a bunch of empty words. I don't know.
Empty words?
After a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, I don't know. It's just,
being a good person?
What he's saying, it made sense. Just because you're a good person don't mean you're a good partner.
Well, some people aren't good partners.
Yeah, you ain't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
mean they're a bad person.
No, doesn't.
Lots of people that are good hang, but you don't want to.
Good hang.
Yeah, the good hang.
A good hang.
You're a good hang, but you ain't for the long term. Yeah.
Let's see. So pick up Juan's guy thing. Yep.
Yay! John Hope Bryant!
Oh, this is long.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not him, I don't think.
Why won't my kids come to me with their problems? Because you tell all their business. That's why. Every time your child gets in trouble, you get on the phone and tell everybody what your child did. Because you don't think your child has any business. But they do. The whole world didn't need to know your son got suspended from school. The whole world didn't need to know your daughter's bad at math. You had people coming up to them in public places like in church talking about, boy, what's up with you in school? None of your fucking business was going on with them in school. Little girl, why can't you pass math? None of your fucking business why she can't pass math. Why would they come to you with something that they're struggling with? When you broadcast everything they do wrong to the public. So it can be front page news? No. Fuck all that. And how would you feel if your kids did you like that? You'd be ready to beat their ass, wouldn't you? Because you believe what goes on in my house stays in this house. Why don't those same rules apply to your children? That's why they don't come to you. They can't trust you is what I'm saying.
This is so real. And what's so crazy is they have actual studies showing that this is one of the biggest differences between high-income families and impoverished families. See, high-performing families, they understand the value of information. They know that everything doesn't need an audience. They correct each other in private. They protect each other's dignity in public. And they don't turn every family problem into community content. Now, I'm not saying that poverty makes people gossip, but it's true that families under constant financial stress, they usually have fewer boundaries. And it's because more people are involved in the bills, the child care, the transportation, housing, and emergency. privacies. So private problems, they become public faster. Meanwhile, high-performing families, they treat information like it's an asset. They protect their finances, they protect their plans, they protect their reputation, and they protect the vulnerable moments of the people inside the family. Because they understand that money isn't the only thing that compounds. Trust compounds, reputation compounds, confidentiality compounds. If your child learned at 10 years old that you protect their dignity, that trust will still be paying dividends when they 30. But when they learn that every mistake becomes a story that you tell, they'll stop bringing you the truth about what's going on in their life. Now, obviously, privacy doesn't mean keeping dangerous secrets. Abuse, self-harm, drugs, or anything threatening their safety may require bringing in trusted help. But it's a big difference between getting help and gossiping. So when people say that their kids don't open up to them, they probably just not being real with themselves. Because people don't open up to whoever asks the most questions. They open up to whoever has proven that they can protect what they heard. And families that understand this simple concept are families who usually have more peaceful, healthier, and wealthier lifestyles.
Why won't my kids?
It was a good post.
Interesting.
That was really eye-opening, Juan. I'm saying for me. I was like, wow, I didn't think of that. As an
but that's the way we grew up.
Yeah, but don't make it right. But,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of ways we grew up don't make it right.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's something that I've been fortunate enough to be able to have discussions about is how some previous actions might have damaged relationship and trust levels, and it's good to be able to have those conversations and honestly just ask for forgiveness and try to rebuild types of things, because that is something that I know growing up, it's it's okay to tell the community. I mean, because those are the people that are going to help me. I mean, little Timmy, he fell in math. Can you help me get him to pass math? And little Timmy's like, why you got to tell Aunt Paula? She makes me feel stupid, and it does damage their trust in you if you're always telling things that they would rather be kept private.
But I mean, if I look at it,
and I was one of those parents be like, you ain't got no business.
Well, I didn't. Well,
I was that parent, so
I was kind of that parent. But I just think I wouldn't say you ain't got no business, but I'll be like, hey, my village is my village. And this is the bad part about it. Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna go back and apologize, because you know what, it's done, and it's the damage. I feel I'm just a firm believer. I think at this point,
you don't believe you should apologize for things that just because you've done it already.
No, I mean an apology.
So if I slap you, it's done already. I shouldn't apologize to slapping you.
Yeah. The crazy thing about
it's done already, Kim. Your face is swollen by now.
Don't worry about it. It's in the past.
It's in the past. Yes.
Rafiki.
That's what I was trying to think of.
That's as crazy as it sounds.
What was that part? Don't worry about it. It's in the past.
Oh gosh.
Once the apology is usually just what you need for you. For you to rest easy. Because I think a lot of times once the damage is,
people need to hear apologies sometime, because if you never say, hey, could you forgive me for this? Why do they have a reason to forgive you? You haven't asked for forgiveness. And that's what an apology is. It's recognizing I've done something wrong. Might not have realized that it offended you, but if it did, I apologize for that. That was not my intent. Will you forgive me? I mean, that's a real apology. And if you never give that, why should I have nothing to forgive you for, because you haven't asked for forgiveness.
No, I don't think. And I hate to say it like that. I guess I'm just the type of person that
you get over it in therapy.
Not even so much in therapy, but I mean,
or you'll never get over it.
As time goes on, I think you just learn to heal,
scab over
it. And I mean, if you do choose therapy, then great. If you don't, it'll just But I think people apologize for stuff. I think a lot of times that just out of habit. I think sometimes and it probably don't make sense.
Well, that's not a true apology, though. I'm saying
how
if
do you
you're
know
giving
if it's
a
true
real
apology, though.
Well, only person that knows if it's a true apology is the person that's giving it.
Yeah. So I can be like, I'm serious, I'm sorry for smacking you. I really do. And then,
but as the person receiving it, that if I believe that it's a real apology, it lets me know if I want to try to forgive you. But if the apology, be it sincere or insincere, is never given, there's nothing to forgive, because you haven't asked for forgiveness. You can't You can't be forgiven until forgiven is asked for.
I just believe in forgiving people because I like when they're stupid, they don't know no better, and not just move on. I don't necessarily have to, but like I said, that's just me. But
okay, but that was a great post. But yeah, we got to get to a John. We got to do a John Hope Bryant. We can't do an episode. I know, because I know I at least posted at least one.
I'm gonna have to rewind it because you were talking
over
him.
Sorry.
Told the kid that walked up to me last night when Shay and I were having dinner at 11:30 at night at a restaurant here in your city, who showed me his stock account had $8,300 in it, and he says he puts $24 in it a day after watching our videos and following my work, and he didn't want to bother us, but he wanted to know that we inspired him, and he's focused on his 20 whatever it was dollars a day, and he showed me there's a green graph on his app where he's got $8,300. It might have been it might as well have been $5 million. It might as well have been 20. It doesn't matter the number. That guy's not poor. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic. Being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of our spirit. We must vow never to be poor again. So what I tell people is the eagles don't fly in packs. You've never seen a flock of eagles. Stop expecting everybody to get you. What I tell people is ignore the noise. This is the most important advice. Two things. Ignore the noise. It's noise all around you. Just walk through life consciously oblivious about most things around you because it just doesn't matter. I stay in a state of almost Buddhist like meditation throughout my day. It's just noise around me, but I'm just standing in plain sight. I'm in this crowded room. Number two thing I say is stop trying to impress somebody that you actually don't want to be like. So everybody growing up sees a 6 square block hero, 6 square block celebrity. In 6 square blocks, everybody knows him. But I say to them, in 6 square miles, or in 6 counties, or in 6 countries, nobody knows them. And they won't know him in 6 months. So ignore them right now. Get focused on your dream. I told the kid.
Gotta love a good John Hope.
Gotta love John Hope.
He's inspiring.
He is.
Makes me wish I was to put $24 a day in a.
He wasn't saying he put $24 a day.
No. I was just saying. I mean, just thinking about what he said. The kid came up to him was saying. I was thinking like when I was young. I mean, I'm just saying that, like, to know the stuff now. If I would have known that stuff then, when I was younger, I could be filthy, stinking rich.
Mm-hmm. You knew it, Kim, because I would say it.
No, I didn't. When I was 20, when I was 24 and 20, I was no.
Just put something in your 401k, Kim.
I mean, well,
I don't understand my 401k.
But I've always had 401k. I mean, because I've always worked for companies that had it, but I didn't understand how to, to be aggressive or to be, however they
moderate or
all
mm-hmm.
that. I was like, well, what's the difference? I'm just going to do it because they're going to meet or give up to 3%, or whatever the percentage each company would do or whatever. But I didn't know. But I mean, that's like something totally different than your 401k. That's your future, okay? I mean, when I say 401k, it's what your job, you contribute whatever to your job, but to this, I think that right there, because our music ones we can't play, so that right there. Did you want to chime in on the 401k one? I mean, on the John Hope, I'm talking about 401k now. On the John Hope, because I know you posted that. I know that's your guy.
It's my
guy. Your guy.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I mean, because a lot of people, everybody wasn't raised with money. I mean, we weren't raised with money. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I agree that there's definitely a difference between being broke and being poor. I think that you can be broke and, still not be poor because you have vision and dreams and goals.
Ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, but I also think you can honestly have lots of money and still be poor because yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was that too long, Larry?
Nah,
Okay.
I was distracted. I had some other stuff going on, but no, but I mean, I do like that. You know, what he was saying. I agree with Juan. You know, it's you can have money and still be poor and have a poor mindset.
Well, true that.
And you won't have money very long either with that mindset either, unfortunately. So
not.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that you know what I'm saying. It's nice that we have that information now, that we now have the knowledge to pass on to the younger generation.
And they don't listen.
Well, yeah, and you know, who knows if we had to listen, had we got that same knowledge that you know, then too. So, but
I think I might
we're gonna have to. I think for us to be effective, we're gonna have to find a new, I don't know, some kind of language or something. I don't know, because English ain't working in my case. So anyway,
I know, like the one piece of information that I do wish I would. I mean, because I've always known about investing in stock and stuff like. I do wish I would have heard of house hacking when I was younger. If I would have heard of that.
That sounds a lot like squatting, but I don't know. So.
No, house hacking is like, okay, if I'm going to go and buy a house, instead of just buying as my first house, instead of buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, you go out and you try to buy a duplex.
Oh,
and that way, or you buy like a 4 or 5-bedroom house and you rent out individual rooms. I wouldn't want to do that, but the duplex thing in my 20s, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I would have started learning about that instead of hearing like Carlton Sheets tapes, that would have paid off better, because I was trying to figure out how to do no money down real estate in my 20s, as opposed to trying to figure out how to just go out and build
make
my
a
credit.
Smart deal.
And so
yeah.
Mercy. Well, this concludes our week's recording. Hopefully, maybe Chris might post something next week. Probably won't, because we know he's not going to listen to this, because he hardly ever listens. Yeah. But we'll just get him. Hopefully, he'll post at least one thing next week. As always, thank you guys for listening. And you can catch us on...
catch us on Instagram at 3SGPod. Or you can go anywhere you get your podcasts, or you can go directly to our website, 3sgpod.gray8fam.com. That's 3sgpod.gray8fam.com.
Have a great week. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for listening.
Bye-bye. Boop, 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 boop.